Okay, guys, so I want to now shift gears to talk about deployments, setting domains, dealing with that sort of deployment pipeline. Because at the moment we've been saying git push origin dev, and then stuff's been happening. We haven't really been merging on GitHub. We haven't really been looking at Vercel. So let's, in this lesson, double down on making sure we understand what's happening behind the scenes and how we can move from, say, dev to main, meaning a production deployment. So before we get started with this, in the previous lesson, we did some work. I was quite naughty because I was on dev. And if I click across to this tab here, I can see if all this work was done. That's not being committed. Okay, now I wanted to just show you another command. So we've been running pnpm build, okay? And this is something I'll do before I say git push origin dev. So before I push my code base to GitHub and GitHub does sync with Vercel, I'll always do this. And this does all of the preparation work for building an optimized, what's called an optimized build. Part of that process is linting, looking for some poorly written code or some stuff that doesn't make sense that needs to be fixed. Now, there is another command, pnpm lint, which specifically just looks at the linting, and it's a little bit quicker. So I'm going to introduce that to you now. I'm going to do a quick lint check, and then I'm going to do a build on mine, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, guys, so instead of pnpm build, this time we're just going to go pnpm lint, so specifically just looking for linting problems. And while that is running, a lot of my workflow is first pnpm lint, just get the linting errors solved. It's much quicker with pnpm lint, and then pnpm build. Now, I didn't want to confuse you with too many commands earlier on, which is why I opted just for the build, because the build, pnpm build, includes linting, but there are some other things going on, optimize, compiling, etc. So yeah, let's have a look at the linting process, and then we will have to build after that as well. Okay, so no linting errors. I guess this is because I was playing around on my lunch break and I did fix a few things. But there you have it, okay? pnpm lint, much faster at just linting, but ultimately you still need to run pnpm build before you push to GitHub. All right, guys, so I'm going to git add period, git commit with a message, rate limiting. And then git push, I'm already on my dev, git push origin dev. Okay, so guys, I'm going to take you into Vercel now to show you the connection between what's going on. In fact, let's go to GitHub first. Okay, so here I am in GitHub, and it says 17 seconds ago, we had a push to this repository. Great, and I am going to compare and pull request shortly, and we've been pushing a lot of stuff, okay? And we haven't really synced that with our main branch, which we need to do. So we have our dev branch and our main branch. There's nothing more you need to know about that. But it is actually connected to Vercel automatically. Okay, so let's jump into Vercel. Okay, I'm in my Serif project in Vercel. And if I go across to deployments, I can see that this is building, okay? Can you see? 57, 58, 59, 100. So in terms of pnpm build, what we did is we're giving this the best chance of success, because Vercel now needs to do the same thing, create an optimized build. That's why we run pnpm build on our end in Cursor, because if we didn't, this is where all of the errors would turn up, and then we'd have to start the process again and keep pushing all the time. So pnpm build gives us the best chance of success before it gets to Vercel. So hopefully this should pass. but it didn't actually pass. We can see that there's actually an error here. My last few have had errors. So now I need to go back into Cursor with these errors. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, on the right-hand side, I'm going to click the copy button, copy. And I can see it's a problem with the checkout session. Let me start a new chat and say, Vercel build failed. Here are the problems. And actually, it's quite rare that after running pnpm build or that passes, that there would be problems on Vercel. Very rarely happens to me. So I'm quite intrigued to see what the problem is. So I would say 9 out of 10 times, if our pnpm build passes locally, it will probably pass on Vercel. But you could see how awkward it would be if we just kept getting stuck in this loop where we have to copy logs from Vercel, go through the entire process, very time consuming. But let's see what it comes back with. Now this obviously might not have happened to you at all, okay guys? Maybe yours did pass. But at some point it will fail even though it passes locally. So let's have a look. Okay, I'm just asking you a few questions because in a later lesson, I was going to get to Vercel environment variables, but I'm wondering if I need to cover them now. Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys, so I'm still in dev and I'm going to say git add all, git commit fix Vercel errors, and then git push origin dev, and then we're going to go through that process again. Okay, so I'm going to pop into Vercel. I'm going to go to deployments, and then we're going to see if this works. And if it doesn't work, well, we start the process again. Okay, hopefully it works this time. If it doesn't, I might just fix this off camera just because it's kind of rare for this to happen, but I guess we've been doing quite a lot of building. So yeah, maybe it will require a bit of extra work on my behalf to get this working. Okay guys, so I had another failure. So what I'm going to do is just speed through fixing this. I've showed you the process. Click into the deployment, copy the error codes, back into Cursor, fix the problem, git add all, git commit, git push origin dev, come back to Vercel to see if it builds correctly, okay? Just keep repeating the process until it's fixed. Okay, so finally I got it working. I had to just run it one more time. But I think from now it'll be quite stable, and it's actually unusual to get errors in Vercel when pnpm build succeeds. Anyway, let's continue. So guys, on the deployments tab, I've had my ready deployment now. So let's see. So it says preview, okay? It says preview, and it says, look at this, dev. This is the dev branch in GitHub. And the last time I said git commit with a message, I typed fix new Vercel errors. Time before that, fix Vercel errors. Time before that, rate limiting. Time before that, etc. Okay, so you can see how this is all connected. So your dev branch in GitHub creates a preview deployment in Vercel. Your main branch, which we have yet to use in GitHub, connects to your production branch. So ultimately, this is fantastic because when we're doing work on a day-to-day basis, if we want to deploy to our customers, all we need to do is merge to main on GitHub. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so I've talked through how dev, whenever we say git push origin dev on GitHub, that creates a preview branch. This is still, and this preview branch enables us to view our app on a hosted Vercel server. Okay, so not localhost, a hosted Vercel server. It does require a few more steps though, because we need to add our env files or API keys to Vercel. We'll do that in the next lesson. And then if we merge from dev to main on GitHub, which we're going to be doing in the next lesson as well, then that creates or updates our production branch. And it's our production branch that has our domain connected. So for instance, serif.com. Okay, so here's the pipeline. So I'm working in Cursor. I say git push origin dev. It goes to GitHub and then pushes and creates a preview branch. And now we need to cover how we merge from dev to main, which then updates our production branch. And it's our production branch that is connected to our custom domain, serif.com. Okay, so that's it. And in the next lesson, we're going to be doing our merging from dev to main. So I'll see you then.